my Chunkman account. It's not following traditional Chunkman rules, but I made a spreadsheet with a bunch of tasks so we can unlock chunks in order to unlock all the landmass chunks of Gielinor. Last episode that culminated into completing a bunch of quests of the Elven storyline, and we managed to unlock 3 pieces of the Isle of Souls, the Zalandra chunk, Guthanot, the port west of Privdinus, and the eastern part of Litgren. Today we are not going to start with some progress as the sailing skill has been released. The sailing skill is a very big thing for this account. As you can see, there are a lot of chunks out there that now have some landmass that we need to unlock now. This is the map that I'm using to know how many chunks there are actually that we need to unlock, and the current end at the end of Varlamore Part 3 is 625. As you can also see, there's a bunch of random islands everywhere, and there's a big part added here down to the bottom. So we will have to unlock a lot more chunks. I am just going to mark them all over here. But one thing I want to show is that the Temperous Cove was moved. It was originally here, where the Pandemonium is now. We have unlocked this chunk, and as this is pretty much the prerequisite to do the Pandemonium quest, I am going to leave this one unlocked, as we pretty much unlocked this specific chunk here. And this one here with the Temperous Cove is going to be locked for us. And the other thing is, for example, you can see a lot of rocks here. As there are like a massive amount, you can see all of these reefs here. I'm not going to count these as landmass chunks. The big difference with, for example, the lighthouse, you can see these parts are a resemblance of landmass, but all of these rocks here, you cannot really call them landmass chunks. So in that regard, I'm not going to lock all of these chunks, as that would probably also mean that we will have to lock the entire map. I also have our main chunk map also next to me on my other screen, because there are a lot of chunks. For example, if we start over here, this chunk, for example, this used to be a water chunk, now it is actually a landmass chunk. So we will have to lock this one, and then I will have to do the same thing on the main chunk picker. So that's the first chunk that we will lock again, and I'll start here at the top and see how many chunks we will actually have to add to our total and how many chunks we will have to lock as well. I think I got all of them. Let's just double check every corner of the map. Just also need to make sure that we don't have like a sliver of land spilling over into another chunk, but this seems to be okay. Yes, I think I've got them all, which means that Chinchompa Island was the last one I had locked here, which means our new total is 702, which means that if we count those up, the entire sailing update has added 77 new chunks for us to unlock, which is quite a lot, as yeah, there are only 4 quests and 4 tasks to get the total levels, which is only 8 chunks that we can unlock that way. So in that regard, it's a bit lackluster on the tasks we get, but it is very big on the amount of chunks this has added. They will add a lot of things in the future, so I imagine it will all be alright. But for now, that's 702 chunks that we need to unlock. That's the end goal now. The original goal was 510. We've almost reached that. That's like 90 chunks left. But 702 now, that's like almost 200 chunks in, what is this now? I think I've been doing this for 4 years now. I was ready to go on our sailing adventure, but when I was looking at the map and crossing out all of the chunks we don't have, I was having a look at this little island, which is the shipyard. And apparently for the quest you need it, which is really unfortunate. So for the Pandemonium, you need to get here to build a cargo hold, then you can go on your merry way and actually do some sailing. So in that regard, we won't be doing sailing until we have unlocked this one here. It's actually not that far off because all of these are water, so if we roll all of these, get to this island, we can actually roll it in one time. It's very unlikely we get it anytime soon, but it is somewhat close. But because of that, we'll have to pivot, and I already had a nicely formulated plan of what we would do for sailing, but I guess it will have to wait. We are a bit lucky though, because when we unlocked the chunk where we have the sheep herder part here, this gave us the Elven storyline we did last episode, but that's not the only thing we actually got by unlocking this chunk. So first of all, I am going to do Legends Quest. It's a bit of a long one, but there's a couple of interesting things we get from Legends Quest, so let's get that one out of the way first. The Legends Quest is all about being a member of the Legends Guild, so we are applying to Radimus Urkel in the Legends Guild, and he has tasked us with two things to do before we can actually become a member. First of all, we need to take his notes, and at the very bottom of Karamja there is the Karazi jungle. We need to map the entire thing, and then the second part is the Karazi people. We need to make sure they are friends with us. To prove that we are actually friends with them, we need to bring back some kind of object that we can display here in the Legends Guild itself. There we go. That's the Radimus notes completed. Now for the second part of our assignment, we need to talk with the Karazi people, but there aren't really any in the jungle. But if we talk to the jungle forester, he will give us a bull roarer, and the bull roarer is something that makes some noise, and then some of the people will come to it and talk to us. We attracted Gujuo with the bull roarer. He says he wants to be friendly with the Legends Guild, but his tribe is scattered because there is a demonic presence in this area. Their shaman Ungadulu is the one who was going to commune with the spirits to see what is going on, and we pretty much need to find him to solve this issue. We can find the shaman, but he seems to be possessed by something, and there's a large firewall surrounding him. The spirit is asking for us to douse the firewall with some pure water. For the pure water, we can find that in the middle of the Karazi jungle, and we got a sketch of a bowl we need to make from gold that is blessed to actually house the water in. With the blessed golden bowl and some water from the pond, we got through the firewall. Let's talk to Ungadulu. The spirit does seem to be attacking us, so we will need to find a way to keep the spirit in check. There is a bookcase with some kind of crevice behind it, so let's have a look what we can find over there. A couple of rooms later, we solved a couple of puzzles and we got a binding book, which seems perfect as it is about demons to bind demons. And it seems that it is an octagram of fire to confine the unearthly creatures of the underworld. So that's most likely what is actually happening with Ukandulu. Oh, and using the binding book, we get the demon that's probably trapped here in this octagram. And there goes the demon. And it seems we have saved him from the demon. Now we can continue with our quest to actually get a working relationship with the Karazi people. And for that, we need a couple of things, as we need to rebuild after the demon has pretty much defiled everything. One of the things we need to do is to make a new totem because the current totem has been corrupted by the demon. So we have some yummy seeds here. We tried to get some extra blessed water, but apparently it has been dried up. So we are now at the Vialdi caves to look where the spring is to make sure that there isn't some blockage or anything. At the depths of the Vialdi caves, we can find some boulders here, and it seems like they are the cause that the water has dried up. So let's see if we can actually free the water here. But it summons some kind of spirit though. The spirit wants us to kill Vialdi with this dark dagger, but the name Eknet Zekin is quite familiar, as the demon that we just fought has kind of the same name, so this is very untrustworthy. Talking to Ongadulu and giving him the dagger, our instinct was correct. It seems like the dagger is not a good thing, and instead we got a spell that can show the true colors of the spirit. Using the spell shows that it is actually the same demon we thought it was. And with the demon down, we can now push all of the boulders to get some more sacred water for our Yomi tree seeds. With the Yomi tree now grown because we had water, we made that into a Yomi totem, and now we can swap it with the totem that is corrupted. So let's use it on the totem pole. And because it is corrupted, it has a sense of the demon inside of it, and we will have to fight him again. With the demon dead, we can now actually replace the totem with our newly made totem, and it seems like this is the end of the demon itself, as the jungle has been released from his presence. As we have done Gujuro a massive favor, he now gives us a gilded totem, which is perfect, as that is the second thing we need to be admitted to the Legends Guild. We are now invited into the guild, and our totem that we got is put on display, and for our work we are getting some experience from Radimus Urkel. We're going to put everything into Herblore, so that is 30,000 Herblore experience, which gives us 83 Herblore, another 30,000, and another 30,000, and then a fourth time for 120,000 Herblore experience. We have finished the Legends quest. We are awarded with 4 quest points, access to the Legends Guild, which is going to be useful in all kinds of ways, and then of course the 120,000 Herblore experience we have achieved. We are now a member of the Champions Guild, the Heroes Guild, and now finally the Legends Guild. Only the Myths Guild is left, but that will have to wait for a couple of years probably, because for that quest we need a lot more of the map. But for now we have completed Legends quest. As we have completed a quest, that means we have also unlocked a chunk, as we have completed a chunk task. So let's go back to our dashboard, complete the quest over there, and then let's see what our new chunk is going to be. Before we complete the Legends quest, I actually forgot to complete Roving Elves on our dashboard here. A bit of an oversight on my end, and very well spotted by the viewers. So let's complete that one first. Roving Elves has been completed for our 133rd quest, and you can see everything changing. 702 total chunks, 95 total level chunks possible, 187 quests possible. And then the only thing we are left with, the Legends quest has been completed as our 134th quest for our 414th chunk. And then we go back to our map, which has changed quite a lot with the addition of all of these sailing chunks. Definitely on the bottom side, we have a lot more chunks that are now rollable. And the total chunks that are now rollable are 120. I think before I tagged every one of these chunks, we were at about 60. So we pretty much doubled the amount of chunks we can roll just with this one update. With all of these islands added, we actually added a lot of things that aren't really useful for the account. So for example, everything to the right side is non-accessible. There are a couple of interesting islands, but as long as we do not unlock the shipyard, we are pretty much unlocking useless things, or useless for the moment anyway. And for the mainland, we are only left with a couple of chunks. We pretty much unlocked everything there, and now it's either going to the other continent or to unlock more of the ocean. So when we unlock sailing, that we can actually go somewhere. We're really hoping to unlock the shipyard somewhere soon, but let's have a look at which 2 landmass chunks we can unlock. Let's pick a chunk. Alright, first of all we unlock a new island, Lettered Island. I'm not really sure what's on this island actually. I don't know the level either because it's all so new, so we're pretty much going to have to find out as soon as we can get there. Well, the far future, because this entire area, I think you need 72 sailing together with an adamant keel to actually get in here. So for now, not the most useful thing we've unlocked, but that's actually our first island we have unlocked with the chunk picker now. This was also a very solitary chunk, so we are only left with 119 possibilities now. Let's have a look which chunk is going to be next. Let's pick a chunk. Alright, expanding to the south. This is a full water chunk though, so we can just mark the 2 next to it. There is a sliver of land here, so that is a landmass chunk. The other one is a full water chunk as well. As we unlocked a water chunk, we are only interested in all of the landmass chunk. So let's try again. Let's pick a chunk. And that seems to be another water chunk. So let's try that again. Let's pick a chunk. Oh, this is in the vicinity of where we want, but not getting closer to the shipyard, but as well, a full water chunk. Yeah, this is to be expected, like half of these chunks are water chunks, so this might take a bit. Let's try again for the 4th time. Let's pick a chunk. Oh, that's the entire other way, but our 2nd island chunk we have unlocked. This is inaccessible, so in that regard, yeah, wait a minute, what did I do here? These are not unlockable. I tagged a bit too many of them. But either way, that's our first of the cursed archipelago. And I'm not really sure when they will release all of these islands, but we have a part of it, I guess. There is a very specific reason why I chose to do Legends quest first out of all of the quests we are able to do. And that is because if we empty this large pouch and craft some runes, we have completed a hard task in the Karamja area. And that means that if we go and do a couple more tasks, we are able to complete the entire diary. We've shaken up a leafy palm tree and picked up leaves 5 times for another hard task. Another reason why we needed the Legends quest is because we needed to kill a Deathwing. The next reason why we needed the Legends quest is to cook an Umli wrap, and if we eat it over here, that is another hard task completed. If we then grapple to the other side, that is another hard task completed. And then with the help of Vanit here, we have finished the last task by winning the fight pit. I'll now just make sure that he gets the achievement as well, and then we will collect our reward. We get the Karamja Gloves 3 as a reward together with an antique lamp. The only difference between the Karamja Gloves 3 and 2 are that we can now mine under Shallow Village for gems. There's a bank there, so that's actually a quite useful place. And the antique lamp is going straight into Herblore for another 10,000 experience in the Herblore kill. 170k left for 84. If we then look at our Karamja diary, we have completed 3 out of 4 parts. We are only missing the last one, which is 91 rune crafting, which we are very far away from. And then anti-venom potion, which is actually boostable with our Herblore level, but we are missing Zolra for the Zolra scale. So for that we still need a couple of chunks. But for now, that is the diary completed. So let's go and complete it on our dashboard as well. And then let's get another chunk. Another diary completed. It's been a bit of time since we've done this. The Karamja heart is now complete. And that was our 16th diary for our 415th chunk. And then back to the map we go. There's still a lot of water chunks and island chunks left to unlock. So let's see which one we are going to get. Let's pick a chunk. Okay, that's a pretty good one actually. The Abalone Cliffs, first part of the Great Conch. If we would be able to unlock this entire thing, it would be great, as this is a pretty good island on one hand, and on the other hand there's a quest here, so very good things to unlock. So I'm not dissatisfied with this one, but of course, like with everything with sailing, and this is probably going to take a while before we get something more useful, but the chances that we get something that isn't that useful is just too big at the moment. But we still have a lot of things to do, so pretty happy with this one for now. The next thing we are going to do is to save one of the recipe for disaster people, and we are going to do ceramic vase. He is one of the 2 that are left, and we can actually do both. So we will be finishing recipe for disaster this episode. And for ceramic vase, we actually needed the Legends quest. So this was the last requirement we needed. So let's just inspect him and let's save him. For him, we need to make a creme brulee supreme. First of all, we need to kill the evil chicken for an egg. And we kill a black dragon, so we can get a dragon token. That's going to be used to flambe it. But now we're still missing a couple of ingredients. So let's go to Karamja, the reason we actually needed the Legends quest. Here we can find a vanilla plant, which we need for the creme brulee supreme. And now the most annoying one is that we need a Draymond branch. I don't have any more because I made them all into Draymond staff, so this is going to be pretty annoying to get that back. Draymond branch obtained. I think we should have everything now, so we add the bucket of milk to the pot of cream. Then add a pot of corn flour, add the vanilla pod, add the evil chicken's egg, then crush up the Draymond branch to make cinnamon to use on the brulee. And now to make it supreme, we need to rub this dragon token to heat it up with the small little dragon that will appear here. And there he goes. We don't get flamed because we are wearing the smith's gloves. So that's the creme brulee supreme complete. Now we just need to give it to ceramic vase. And that is the quest completed. We have freed ceramic vase. We get 1 quest point, 4,000 cooking experience, 4,000 hit points experience, and more of the Culinary-Romancer's chest. I'm not going to use this now because we are just going to continue. The last council member that we need to save is the Lumbridge Guide, so let's inspect him and let's continue our journey. For the Lumbridge Guide, we need to make a cake of guidance, and Wizard Triborn in the Wizard's Tower tells us that The cake is actually imbued with knowledge and information. I was actually looking at the requirements for this quest and I was like, why haven't I done this? Because you don't really need anything, but apparently you need to have Biohazard completed, which we did last episode, as he asks questions about the quest here. So that is the reason why we could not do it, but luckily for us, we now have everything necessary. So let's enter some questions from Wizard Triborn and let's make the cake. After some questions, we have some enchanted egg, flour and milk. So let's use it on the cake tin to make a raw guide cake. Now we only need to bake the cake. And there we have a cake of guidance. Let's free the last member of the council here. For 1 additional quest point, 2500 cooking and magic experience, and again, increased Culinary chest access. Now that everybody is free, we just need to deal with the Culinary and we have completed the entire quest. As we cannot use any prayer, I just did not refresh our prayer. I brought some things in here. I'm not really sure what we'll need, but we can just get out of the portal and restart one of the bosses we need to face next. So to defeat the Culinary, let's just go into the portal and let's see what the first enemy will be. First off, it's Agret Nana. So these are all bosses we have already killed in other quests, but then changed into something to eat. So this is one of bananas. And that's one down. Next up is Flambéed, which is actually freed, but now has an ice cream. And there we go. That's him down as well. Next up is Caramel, which is actually Camel from the Desert Treasure bosses. There we go. That's another one down. Next up is Dessert, which is actually the Sue from Desert Treasure as well. One more demi-boss to go. The last demi-boss is the Gelatinot Mother. So the Dagonot Mother we saw from the Horror from the Deep quest. And there we go. That's now only the Culinary left. And there goes the Culinary. He is defeated. And with the Culinary defeated, we have completed Recipe for Disaster. We are rewarded with a quest point, an antique lamp, and full access to the Culinary chest. First things first, let's use the antique lamp on Herblore. 20,000 Herblore experience, that's pretty nice, but the real reward is in the basement. If we take out some money and buy items, all of the gloves are now available. We were at Adamant Gloves for a very long time, but we finally unlocked Pharaoh's Gloves. These are going to be a massive upgrade, as you can see from the gloves we have on right now, the Adamant Gloves. So that's a very nice and welcome upgrade. But as you can see on the chat here, we have completed a hard task in the Lumbridge and Drainer area. If we then go look to the achievement diaries or the hard tier, nothing is in red, so we can pretty much do everything. So that's immediately what we are going to do. And then after this, we will do all of the chunk rolls for all of the quests we've completed and this diary. We cannot do the Lumbridge Elite anyway because we need to have the quest cape, and this is probably one of the last things we will do on this account, as we need pretty much the entire map to do all of the quests. A small detour of an hour because I did not have the pizzazz points to do this, but if we deposit these 200 points, we get 40k experience, which is quite nice. Then we have enough points for Boats to Peaches, so we were only missing the Alchemist points, but if we confirm this, this is actually a collection log item. If we then use it in the Alcarid Castle, that is another hard task completed. With Smite Up, we can recharge our prayer at the altar in the Emir's Arena for another hard task. We can then craft a diamond amulet, bring it, and enchant it all in Lumbridge for another hard task. We can then light a mining helmet in the basement of the castle for another hard task completion. We now have done enough quests to easily get over 100 tiers collected at Tears of Gothics, and that is also now a task completed for the Hard Diary. If we then make 56 Cosmic Runes, we also have a hard task completion. And then the last task we need to do is we need to harvest some belladonnas next to the Drainer Manor, but I did not plant these beforehand, so we will have to wait until these grow. And the day after we have a fully grown belladonna, so let's pick it. We need gloves. Great. And now with the Barrow's gloves on, if we pick these belladonnas, yes, there we go. We have completed all of the hard tasks in the Lumbridge and Drainer area. As a reward, we get the Explorer's Ring tree, which has unlimited teleports to the Cabbage Patch, which is amazing for our farm runs. And the antique lamp here, we're also going to put on Herblore, which means we get another 15k. Now that we've done a lot of things, we can also complete them on our dashboard, and then we are going to get 4 new chunks as well. First off, let's complete all of the recipe for the disaster quest. So first of all, we did ceramic vase. So let's complete that. That was our 135th quest. For our 416th chunk, then we also completed the Lumbridge guide part for quest number 136 and 417 chunks. And then we finished the entire thing by also defeating the Colonromancer for our 137th quest and our 418th chunk. And then the last thing we did, because we got some Barrow's gloves, the Lumbridge and Drainer Hard Diary has been completed. That's our 17th for our 419th chunk. And then let's see which 4 chunks we are going to get. Well, which 4 islands we are going to get, because that's pretty much the entire landmass we have left. So let's see the first one. Let's pick a chunk. Ooh. That's barely not Varlamore. But that now means we have 2 chunks we can roll into Varlamore. We still need, of course, up until this part here, the Grand Museum, where the 2 Quetzals are. So yeah, still quite a while away, but we are getting closer to the new continent, which is also pretty nice. But that was a water chunk. That does not count, as we are only interested in the landmass chunk. So let's try again. Let's pick a chunk. Oh, yes, that's actually a good one as well. After the Abalone Cliffs, we get the next part of the Great Conch. Only 9 more and we have the entire island. I think we need at least... yeah, this one to dock together with these 3, I guess. So I think if we get these 4, we could do the quest if we eventually get to sailing. But that's not a bad chunk to start off with. 3 more. Let's make a chunk. Oh, the entire other way of the map, but that's just a full water chunk. We also need level 78 to pass these waters, so this is going to be for a very far thing in the future, but it's also a full water chunk. So let's try again for our second chunk. Let's pick a chunk. Oh, I was wondering where it was, but a very small island in the Oozer Channel. So we cannot get there because the entire part over here is all not available for the current sailing. Maybe in a year or something that this will be available. By then we'll be able to get there, surely. But second landmass chunk unlocked. 2 more to go. Let's see the third one. Let's pick a chunk. Ooh, okay. That's the last piece of the Tiananmen docks. Not the greatest chunk, but at least that's one of the main continent chunks that's now crossed off, so that's also something nice to see. Only just a couple left, and it's pretty much the things that we actually need. So this one for a mini quest, this one for some quests, and then these two for a quest and Zora itself. So not bad, but let's see what the fourth one is. Let's pick a chunk. Is that water? Yes, that's also a water chunk in the northern seas. So we have to try again. Let's pick a chunk. Oh, that is Chinchompa Island. So that is a landmass chunk, and we are now getting really close to the northern part for the Great Current. So yeah, not bad, although if we actually want to get here, there's, I think, a fairy ring in this chunk. So that would be the fastest way to get there. Or maybe with Tide Farm. I don't know if we can get there with the Tide Farm teleport without having actually entered Tide Farm for the first time. So that might be a thing, but the Jumpa Island unlocked. Well, if we ever get there, that's an interesting unlock, but for now, it's just another island unlocked. But that was the fourth one, so we are out of chunks to pick, and we'll have to do some more progress on our account before we can roll again. And with that, we have reached the end of the episode. They added quite a bit of chunks for us to unlock with the sailing update, but we've set the first step by unlocking 7 of them, so that's a good start. And next time we will just continue with more chunk unlocking. So for now, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.